Okay, this is the way Kinyan works. We're going to start the second parak tonight, which is Daf Chav Ches Beis. Tamid is a fascinating Masechta in that it sort of starts on Daf Chav Hey Beis. It's the middle of whatever. But we learned the first Masechta here, the first parak here together. The way the Kinyan works is, in general, Shir is going to start by 8:35. It's right now 8:39. In general, we're going to start at 8:35. We're going to give Shir for about 15 to 17 minutes. And then we're going to stop at about 8:50. The last 10 minutes, everyone pairs up with a chavrusa, which we actually have even numbers right now, Mir Hashem, and chazers right after we learn. So again, we give the shir. Let's say today, for example, we would have done the Mishnah probably through the Mishnah is about, looks like 10 lines in Amud Beis. We probably would have got to another 2-3 lines in Amud Aleph. Then we would stop. Everyone would chazer afterwards. Obviously, you would have gemaras that you could write in, and this is pathetic that no one here has gemaras, but it's my fault. So Amir Hashem, we'll all have gemaras by tomorrow. I took responsibility, even on camera. I'm recording, and I took responsibility. I did not say that it was the mashgiach's fault. I took responsibility. So with that being said, Yachazer together. The next day, throughout the day, we have a chat. So the reason he didn't add you to the chat is because
how many times do you need to come?
yeah, they need people to feel like they're in. Yeah. It's a schos, not a. It's what's the line? It's a schos to be part of the chabura. So once the ilam is in, we'll get added to the thing, and throughout the day we chazer again, and then over the weekend we chazer again. So if you do the math, we learned this year once, you chazer to end this year, you chazer the next day, you chazer over the weekend. Every week you'll see every Gemara 4 times. We get to end of the parak, we have a big party. This parak, I don't know if it's going to be able to be so big, and maybe we'll do the second and third together because it's a little bit pathetic to have a whole party over a blot. We're not that.
That was my plan.
Yeah.
Right?
What to not? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So we'll do probably two prakim, which is 2 blots. Okay. I think we can handle it. And the goal, there's no pace, there's no speed. The goal is to know what we're talking about. The Ilam, the first parak, on average, everyone that was in the Chabura chazed the first parak close to 10 times. Even more in the truth. We started charting it during, right, 10 was during the last chazara, that's without the chazara as it goes along. So it's really very simple. I say to Rabbi Newman all the time that you're a genius. You invented the wheel by doing nothing. Everyone else in the world is busy making, Rabbi Newman is, everyone else is busy making systems and schedules. All he did was, let's go back to the basics and learn and know what we're talking about on Chazer, learn on Chazer. And it's a beautiful thing. So
300.
Together we did 300.
300 amudim. We did a 300 amudim. The first parak is about
27,
7 amudim.
And 34.
Okay, that's that done. Do you have any questions? Are we clear? You know what's going on? You know what's going on a little bit? You know what's going on a little bit? Great, amazing. Let's get started. Tonight you'll have to beer without a Gemara. Tomorrow, Mir Hashem, we will have Gemaras for everyone, and we will, with food, and we'll do it right. This is pathetic. Okay, fine, right. Re'uhu echav sheyared. Here we go. We start the new parak, the second parak. The one word of Akdama that you need to know from the first parak is that really we're within 1 day of the Beis HaMikdash, which is why this Masechta is so fascinating. It's 8 blot, and it's 1 day in the Beis HaMikdash. The Karban Talmud obviously is brought every day. The first parak, we started with what happens before the Talmud is brought, which is they have watchmen, number one, which is sleeping arrangements, which is inspection of the Beis HaMikdash to make sure everything's in the right place. I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now. And now we're basically at the point that they just went up to the top of the Mizbeach. They took a scoop of ashes off the top of the Mizbeach. They came down and they placed it on the floor. That is where the first parak ends. So the second parak, in middle of the story, picks up. Ru'uhu echav. His brothers see him. His brothers, meaning the other Kehanim, Sheyarad, that he descended. Ru'u echav Sheyarad. His brothers see him, that he descended. And in case you weren't sure, if, by the way, it's not Rashi around the page, don't get confused. It's a Mefarish, it's a big shayla who he is. But if you look at where Rashi would be, just to look at 2 words, what does he say? Asidra dil'el koi. It's going on the order that we just said. And if just continuing that mafarish for 1 minute, la'achar shetara mesadeshen. This is in case you didn't do chazar on the first parak, and you're so lost that you don't remember, the Mefarish keys you in la'achar shetara mesadeshen. After no, that was not hits at anyone. This is not hits at anyone. Oh wow, guilty conscience. Guilty conscience. Oy vey, trauma. La'achar shetara mesadeshen. After he separated the ashes, v'yarad min hakeves, and he went down from kavesh, he went down from the ramp. Oyniskarev etzlam itzel ruach shemaimdim. So the Mephiles just gives us a little bit of context that we know what's going on. So he came down with the ashes. His brothers see him. Ve'im ratzim, and they run. Ubaim, and they come. Is anyone bothered by what we just learned? Anyone?
Sounds like on top of his back right now, no?
Well, who's on top of the Zech? Okay.
Sounds
Why? They saw him come down.
or maybe it's on top of the secondary.
So what bothers me a little bit is how do they see him? Didn't we learn that? Look at the top line of this Amid.
They only hear his voice.
Right.
They say he is.
How in the world there was any? This is before dawn. It's early morning, and the previous parak taught us that they didn't hear him, they didn't see him, and he was able to walk just because with the little light that he saw. So what exactly it means that they saw him is a little bit difficult. Okay. Ruach Hashiard. V'him ratzim, they run, ubam, and they come. Maharu, quickly. V'kidshu, yedehem, v'ragleim. V'kidshu, they were mekadesh. They sanctified. Yedehem, their hands, v'ragleim, and their legs. Min ha-kiyar. From the kiyar. So the other brothers, the other kehanim, this is now the day in the Beis Hamikdash is about to begin. And how does the day begin? With Kidshu Yideyim V'Ragleim, washing your hands and your legs from the Kiyar. Natlu es hamagrefois. They take the magrefos. Now, what are the magrefos? Do I have written down in my Gemara what's magrefos, by the way?
Yeah.
I do, right? Can you read my hand already?
Shovels?
Nice. Shovels. Good. I never remember what these words are. Shovels. Thank you. Not to us a voice. They take the shovels. That's forks, right? And the forks. So it's actually embarrassing. I probably learned this mission. I don't want to say how many times. And I know what magrefos is. Okay. Not to us a voice. They take the shovel, vesat and the forks. Va'alu, and they ascend. They go up in English. L'roish hamizbeach, to the top of the mizbeach. So let's just get the picture over here. This is early in the morning. All the kehanim that are there, which whoever that was, we'll leave at the moment. They wash their hands and their legs. They go up. They grab a shovel. They grab a fork, and they start walking up the mizbeach. Now, what are they going to find on top of the mizbeach? Ha'ivarim, the limbs, v'hapidarim, and the fats, sheloi nisachlu mi ba'erev, that were not consumed from the night before. Ivarim and pidarim are the parts of every carbon that were brought on the mizbeach. So on top of the mizbeach was a pyre, P-Y-R-E, which is a big bonfire. And on the bonfire, they threw on the fats, they threw on the limbs. What happens if they didn't burn? So what do you do with them? So the first thing in the morning is you go up to the top of the mizbeach and you survey and you see that there's fats and limbs that were not consumed. So what do you do with them now? Solkin oisan, they remove them. Soilek is remove. Solkin oisan. I feel terrible. And no one here is Gemaras can't write. This is paining me. Okay, the Musar is listening to the end of the messages. Solkin oisan, they remove them. Al tzidei ha-mizbeach, onto the side of the mizbeach. Okay, so you're going to take the fats and the limbs off of the top of the mizbeach. It's sitting on the top of the mizbeach. It's sitting next to or on top of the fire over there. It's not fully burnt. They take it and they put it on the side of the mizbeach. Now, what does it mean, the side of the mizbeach? We're going to have to see. But says the Mishnah further, im ein sidodim machzikim, if the sides do not hold it, there's not enough room. Let's say the previous day there were tons of karbanos, and they put all the karbanos on top, and they didn't burn, so they take them off and they put on the side of the mizbech. If there's no room on the side of the mizbech, where do you put it? Soidrin oisam, they arrange it. Soidrin, they arrange it. Bis soiviv, on the soiviv. You have a nice picture over there. Okay, we're going to use your picture in a moment. Al hakevesh on the ramp. Okay? Ala kevish. So right now, they took off all the fats and the limbs. They sit them on the side of the Mizbeach or on the soiviv on the ramp. We have to see what that means in a moment. So what now is on top of the Mizbeach? If you walk into the top of the Mizbeach right now, what do you see? What do you see?
Saying they take everything off.
So there's nothing there, aside for
Limbs.
the fire. No, they took all the limbs, they took everything off. So only thing you're going to find there is wood, ash, fire.
Shovels there.
No, they're holding the shovels. They're holding the shovels. We're going to get to pictures in 1 second. So what do? Heichelu is the same word as hischelu. Heichelu, they begin. Ma'alin, they raise up or they pile up. Be'efer, the ashes, al gav, on top of tapuach. The tapuach. What's a tapuach?
Apple. No.
Apple. Meir takes. What does it mean over here? There's no apples on the mizbeach. It's not a chassidish dish.
They had apples.
What's the tapuach?
Apples on Hasidic dish.
Oh, you clearly have not gone to enough dish. Tapuach is a pile. That's all it is. Tapuach is a massive mound on top of the mizbeach of all the ashes. And the Mishnah says, tapuach, what was the tapuach?
That was an avoid that need to take off the ashes.
Oh, tapuach, what was the tapuach? Haya be'emsa mizbeach was on the middle of the mizbeach. So the middle of the mizbeach was a massive mound of ash. So after they remove the fats and the limbs, they scoop up all the remaining ash and they put it on the middle of the mizbeach. Tapuach, this middle center ash heap, was in the middle of the mizbeach. How large was it? Pa'amim at times, shahayu alav, that there was on it this pile of ash was so big, it was ki shalish meyois kur, like 300 kur, which in English we're going to say is big. I don't know how much 300 kur is, but it's a large pile of ash. Uber regalim. Now during the shalish regalim, there were lots and lots and lots of karbanos brought. Lots of karbanos, lots of fire, lots of wood, lots of ash. Uber regalim loy hayu midashnin oisai. During the shalosh regalim, they would not clean off the ashes. They would pile it and pile it and pile it and pile it. Midashnin means clean. Why not? Mipnei, because shehunoi lemizbeach. It's a beauty to the mizbeach too to have a massive pile of ashes. Why? What's the beauty?
Showed they operated.
It shows that we're not exactly. It shows that the thing is
Operated.
moving, operated. There you go. Umiyamav. Now this is a little bit of a difficult word. Umiyamav means and in his days. The Olam Farshim make it very busy. Whose days? His days. Okay. Umiyamav, and in its days, I guess it would be the way to teach it properly. Loi nisatzel hakayin, on the top of the Amid. A kayin was never lazy milhoitzias adeshen, to remove the ashes. What does that mean? What does that mean? Kayin was never lazy to remove the ashes. So let's look at the top mefayrish together. The top mefayrish. What did we just say? We just said that the bigger the pile, the more beautiful it is. So maybe one would think, should you ever clean off the pile? Maybe never clean it off. Just go higher and higher and higher and higher. Says that Tamefayrish, Afal Gav, even though Dinoi Hu Mizbeach, it's a beauty for the Mizbeach. Kishiyish Love Deshin Harbe, I'm in the top Rashi. It's beauty to have a big pile. Afilu Hachi on the second line. Kseigia Ha'is Lefanois Esadeshen, when the time came to clean off the ash, Loi nisatzel koyin, the kohanim were not lazy. Lohaitzias adeshen, the one who was supposed to do it. And we pause and we stop over here for the day. We'll say it outside and we'll give a little bit of time for chazar. So what just happened? Just happened is, firstly, we just learned something that many people don't know. The word trumas adeshen, which by the way is the first avodah of the day. It's a word, the term that you hear. Trumas adeshen means cleaning off the ashes. What does it mean, cleaning off the ashes? This is what many people don't know. Does it mean they cleaned off all the ashes of the Mizbeach? No. If they cleaned off all the ashes of the Mizbeach, would you have a tapuach? No, because there would be no ashes. So the Dishon HaMizbeach, the Chumas HaDeshen, was that every day they took off one scoopful of ash and put it next to the Mizbeach.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's not like that.
There were times, whatever that was, that they had to clean it off. But every day, what do? They took one scoopful and put it down. And then, after they did that one scoopful, what do? And that was the parak that we just started. They took all the fats and the limbs, they moved it off of the Mizbeach. And I actually wanted to show you. Could someone open up a picture? I think you guys have pictures also. Open up to the pictures. You don't have pictures. I don't have. Those have. Let's pull up a Mizbeach picture. There you go. Thank you. No. No. Which one's better? Yeah, I think. Yeah, it doesn't show the save over here.
It shows.
No, it doesn't show. Give me your picture if that one's better. I have to add in a better picture. That's good to know. I'm a little making the Gemara now. Oh, here we go. Here is a mizbeach. Here's a mizbeach. It's a pathetic picture, but it's a mizbeach. Just pathetic and small. This save, just pass it around. Everyone look at this save. The save was a ledge that ran around the middle of the mizbeach. That's what the save was. The save was. You got the save?
Yeah.
He actually knows what the mizbeach looks like. Okay. He went to 5th grade. Okay, we won't make fun of everyone else that doesn't. Yeah, of course, you know what it was about it. Yeah, he shows the Seiviv. So the Seiviv was that middle ledge around the Mizbech. So they start off number one by taking the fats and the limbs, and they put it on the side. If the sides don't hold it, they put on that ledge around. Then what do? They pile the ashes onto the Mizbeach, onto the Tapuach, creating a massive ash pile in the middle of the Mizbeach. And even though it was beautiful, when the time came, whenever that time was, they would clean it off, and they were not lazy. We'll stop over here. No. We don't know when, but the word times.
Gets out of hand. What's the?
Oh, good. You're saying what is pshat lamaisa? Yeah, that's a very good catch.
There's
very good catch.
I feel like there's one part is that they took off a little bit off because to not get out of control, but also
So I'll tell you, they took a little bit off, didn't do anything.
I know, but
Every day they took one. Imagine you have a pile of ash, literally this big, besides this table, and you go and you take one little scoopful off. Does that do anything? Does that do anything to it? No.
Yeah, but it's also hot to have it also. Apparently,
But why do they take off one scoopful? I'd rather Meir take a vart from. I don't know why. I feel like it's one of the Ger Rebbes. I think it's a Sfas Emes. Why do they take off one scoopful of ash every day? What was the purpose? It wasn't to lessen the pile. It was a massive pile. Says the Sfas Emes. It's not maintaining it. One scoop's going to do anything? It doesn't do anything.
So much more each day.
He says, you know what it does? We think, they tell you, wake up, start the day fresh. It's a good thing to do. But look, this Sfas Emes, really, you got to go to yesterday's pile of ash, and you got to start by connecting today's Avodah to yesterday's Avodah. How? A little bit. You go and you take one scoopful off, and you put it down. And now you can start today's Avodah. It's never mamish fresh. That's a Meir Dikas Sfas Emes. But either way, back to our Gemara, they took off one scoopful, and then at intervals, whenever it was, when it got out of control, then they would clear it off entirely. Why they would do that is a good kasha. I think the answer is it's Gezeir Sekasov. I think the answer is there is Gezeir Sekasov, and that's the avodah called Hitzas Hadeshen, that they would completely remove it at intervals. Happens to be fascinating shittas of Rambam. The Rambam argues with every word we just said, and you have to know how he learns the Mishnah. The Rambam holds every day they would clean it off. That's the Rambam holds. How in the world does he learn this? It's a good kasha. He clearly learns that they would start the day by piling up the ashes, and then they would completely dismantle every day, but that's not the pashas. Pashas like we saw in the Mefarish, which is they would just remove one scoopful every single day, and then they would pile it up until those intervals came. The Mishnah is going to continue teaching us, now that we took off the fats and the limbs, now that we piled up the ashes, what's next? Got to rebuild the bonfire. After you clean up, got to start the day fresh, got to put up a new fire, got to get new wood, you got to arrange the fires properly, and that's going to be in Mirz Hashem, the continuation of the Mishnah for tomorrow.